wasn't about to be rubbing no Philly girls the wrong way.
Aunties, y'all chill.
Because of this man alone.
I'm not choosing none of those lifestyles. Practice.
We talk about
practice. You know, in high school, a lot of people used to make fun of you. You were a little bit younger.
That was easy. Welcome in, everybody. I am Lauren Moses, your favorite dog mom, foodie, pasta lover, all the things, former UVA hooper, and all academic team. But today, I'm here with my big bro.
Yeah, it's your boy, Dezman Moses, former Green Bay Packer, Kansas City Chief, Jersey representative. You already know.
Jersey all day.
Lauren, we got a big show today. What we talking about?
Yeah.
Tell the people what they got to look forward to.
Well, right off the top, we got to talk about Kobe.
The Bean.
Bryant.
It's one of my favorites. It's one of my favorite guys.
Yeah.
Some people love it. Some people hate him.
We got to get into that because we got to figure out where we stand and is there a right side of the fence? Is there a right side of the fence? And then we get into toxicity, right? Yeah. Because today's age.
That's one of my favorites.
That's a word that's thrown around a lot.
I like to get a little toxic from time to time, but people, it's probably overly used. We'll talk about it. Yeah. Women and men. Yeah. Toxicity.
And then my least favorite conversation to have with you. Veganism versus being a vegetarian.
Yeah, you're neither one of them. Don't worry about it.
It doesn't matter. None of your business.
She eat chicken, y'all, beef, pork. She done eat it all. But we'll talk about that later.
But we'll wrap it up with my favorite segment, which is the fundamentals. Yeah. How do we stay mentally focused? How do we lock in, in sports and in our real life now? So it's a lot to talk about, but I'm excited. We're gonna see where you stand.
Let's go.
Kobe Bryant.
The Bean.
Hate or love?
Love the Bean. I used to be on the fence about it. There was a time, and I'm a little bit older, back in 2003, there was a sexual assault case that happened. There was a young lady that came out in Colorado. Long story short, it wasn't a definitive ending to it. There was a settlement. The case, she refused to, say her piece in court. So a lot of people feel like it kind of just got washed away. But for me, as time went on, I started to fall in love with the guy Kobe was. He almost was perfect, if we want to say perfection. He was near perfect after that. The way he went about his business, the teammate he was, the leader he was. For me, off court, the father he was. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of people that begin to love him and forget about this tough time, but not everybody has.
Yeah, no. I mean, not that I necessarily am thinking about what happened years ago, but I was not a Kobe fan.
Sure.
Like, growing up, it was very much LeBron James. Like, he was my basketball idol at that time, aside from Candace Parker on the women's side. But Kobe's arrogance to me, it rubbed me the wrong way. And thank you. A lot of people say swagger, or a lot of people say confident. Some people call it cocky.
Yeah.
That was not something that as a baller growing up that I wanted to replicate after. One, I'm a female in this game. Two, I was playing in Philly growing up. Yeah. I wasn't about to be rubbing no Philly girl the wrong way.
Well, it's a selfish aspect to it as well, because as a lot of people now, they look back and say, oh, they compliment it, they love it. But there was a time when people didn't like to play with Kobe being Bryant. He would cuss you out mid-game, give it to you.
Yeah.
But you knew he was going to be the hardest worker. And that's something that a lot of people
And you can rely on him, right? Like, when I think back to when I was playing, I could say anything to my teammates.
Yeah.
Not that I did, but it was always because they knew that they could rely on me. On the court, off the court, I was going to show up.
Well, when you bring that level of commitment, it's easy for your teammates to fall in love with you.
I think everything you said about him stepping up after playing basketball and creating the Mamba Sports Foundation for his daughter and other young ballers in the Los Angeles, California community. And all of that has been really a part of his legacy that he's going to leave behind, or he has left behind, for his family, for his daughters, and for the other ballers in that area.
I'm sad to see that we couldn't see the final fruits come to fruition for what he was going to do for the women's game. I think he was very, very invested in it, between his daughters and just other female pro basketball players and athletes. Some people wonder why we're even talking about Kobe Bean. Everybody's not a basketball fan, but we are. We got to grow up and see this guy up close and personal, especially being from that tri-state area. Huge Kobe fans. But talk about Kobe Bean on the court.
Yeah.
For me, was a straight killer.
Yeah.
Straight killer.
I mean, it's a reason why people literally go to Lower Merion High School just to see Kobe Bean Bryant's jersey.
Used
just
to pack out high school games.
Just to see it hanging. But like you said, on the court, in the NBA, game after game, he's going to be the person you want the ball in their hands.
Yeah, 5
every single time.
Countless MVPs. There was a Kobe and Shaq time. Imagine had those two stayed together.
Woo.
They were such big personalities.
Yeah.
I don't know if they would have meshed, but while it lasted, it was beautiful.
It was great. It was great. I mean, you have to think about his records as well. 81 points, 2006 against the Utah Jazz, with ending it with a buzzer beater. Like,
yeah.
And buzzer beater king. We're always making up names for people now. We got the gritty king.
Yeah.
We got all these kings, but really Kobe Bryant was the buzzer beater king. There's nobody in the league right now that night in and night out, 5 games, 6 games throughout a season that can just knock down buzzer beaters
like
with
clockwork.
Hands in their face.
Well, let's talk about this because you say buzzer beaters, but a lot of people have opinions about the GOAT. Let's talk GOAT talk. Kobe Bryant, Michael Jordan, Wilt Chamberlain. Who's your GOAT?
Ring count.
Ring count, huh?
Ring count, that's what it is, right? Because nobody talks about Charles Barkley.
Right.
Unless he's on TNT.
So you're saying your GOAT's Michael Jordan?
Yes.
6 rings. Kobe Bryant,
Yes.
5 championships, all in L.A., though. That's
another, yeah.
That's a factor. Almost 20 years in L.A., one team, one organization, one face. I think this is part of the reason he became iconic, especially with the way the athletes, and we're talking the LeBrons, the KDs, the Kyries, the switching sides so quickly. Kobe locked in for 20 years and made it happen.
Well, it's the community, right? He built that Los Angeles community up by winning, by staying true to who he was, Philly boy. He didn't come to LA and turn into an LA cat, and it showed when he passed, unfortunately. You see memorials to this day of his jerseys, of candles, of his face and his daughter's face, Gigi Bryant, on sides of buildings. And that's a testament to who he was, because it was all about the fam.
Well, he was tough, too. He was tough as nails. As a football player, in my mind, a basketball player, hooper, he was my style, a guy. You know, there was tons of different interactions he had with players. I remember one with Matt Barnes. You know, they had a brush up. You know, Matt Barnes is out of bounds.
Oh,
Pump fakes the ball. Man, Kobe just to kill it. I mean, this man didn't flinch.
He didn't blink.
That's the type of heart that I like to see. And being from the East Coast that I fell in love with, one of the reasons I love Kobe being Bryant, and one of the reasons I'm going to miss him.
It's inspiration. What Kobe was is something that no one can ever forget or take away from him, despite what might have happened in the past or not. He is a king in his own right. He is a GOAT as well in his own right. Is he my GOAT? No. But he is still one of the greatest of all time to do what he does at the highest level of this game.
And that's a fact. Did you know? Okay.
Did you know that a Black woman named Lisa Galopter was a part of creating something called the Shockwave, a technology that creates web animation? So you know the GIFs or the GIFs, whatever people call it.
I call them GIFs.
GIFs. I mean, it's GIFs, people.
That don't sound right.
GIFs. So the things that are circulating on the web of people, it's like a kind of like a boomerang, what people use now. That is something that she created. A Black woman was a part of that process. That's a beautiful thing to me. You know, we're getting into an age where there are a lot of STEM workshops, programs for young kids, especially in these inner city communities. I know in Philadelphia they have one, Camden, New Jersey they have one. And to see
Kansas City as well. Yeah,
to see someone in 1995 have a hand in that is beautiful. To see that now in 2020 is when I really started hearing about these programs. And now going, obviously, 2022, I'm about to go into 2023. That's a beautiful thing to see children being able to have a hand in something that everyone uses.
I about to say everyone. This is, 2022. We talk about it, all the technology, all the advancements we've made. But to have something like that that's going to be around for forever, that our not only children, but our grandparents use. I mean, that's a pretty cool fact there.
Unfortunately, grandparents, they need to stay off.
Y'all grandma, aunties, y'all chill. Let the youngest have the internet, all right? Y'all posting the wrong stuff. We'll talk about it later. But the gifts, that's one of the cool parts about social media. There's fun stuff. And it's not audible, a lot of them. So you can really just be creative, send something with emotion without saying, without texting.
Yeah.
I'm tired of texting.
Without using words, right? Right? Like our communication is already going downhill anyway. So why not just use a GIF?
But we get the picture though. You get the GIF.
That's a good one. I like that. You get the GIF.
Right. Gifts. Everybody has their favorite gifts. I know for me, meet the guys. Obviously, I'm in a group chat with the fellas.
Okay.
We talk about food, and our favorite go-to is it's like a young lady, she's twerking, so whenever we talk about food, for whatever reason, if we see something good, we get excited. We throw in the twerk
That's
motion.
what it is.
We turned up about food. That's we're foodies. We're lovers.
We love that.
What's your favorite?
We love that. One of my favorites, I have a few, but one of them is off of Honey Boo Boo Show.
Okay.
So it's like the little girl who's just like sitting, it's like a confessional, and she's just like sitting there, and it's usually when something juicy is going on, right? You don't really want to comment, but you see what's going on, and so she's just like,
ain't none of my business.
I'm minding my business, but I seen it. I seen it.
We see y'all. We judge you, but we ain't saying nothing.
Facts. Talking about judgment.
Yeah. Let's talk about it.
I'm not vegan anymore, but when I was vegan, I got a lot of slack from you.
I'm gonna tip my hat.
I got a lot of slack from you when I actually was vegan, though.
Yeah. So you were vegan for how long? Let's go back into it, because
let's do a calendar. Little, on this day.
2 days, 3 days.
2019.
She a sellout, y'all. I seen
2019.
her.
Okay.
She told me she was vegan the week of. We have a family gathering. Mind you, this is my real little sister. We get there. Chicken. It's cooking. Oh, I'm killing it. I'm licking my fingers all in front of them. I'm trying to tempt them.
I was
Why
not vegan then. I was not vegan then.
Got it on camera.
So let's roll back, right? Because when did I start veganism?
Was this
right?
2019.
Okay. I had just finished playing basketball. I was going through stuff mentally, trying to figure out who the heck am I?
Trying stuff,
right?
Trying stuff.
Right.
Okay.
No, but that happens. Like when you go through these changes, a lot of times you're like, what is serving me today?
Right.
And that was something that I wanted to try to do, as well as my knees. My knees have always been an issue, and I was still training as if I was an athlete when I wasn't. But I wanted to change something up. So I took out meat, I took out dairy, and I went to Whole Foods and was like, let's do it.
What is the purpose?
So there's real facts that meat is really bad for inflammation.
I'm not no vegan, y'all. I'm a meat lover.
Meat can cause really bad inflammation, especially if you already have issues, as well as your tendons.
Stop it. It sounds like gluten.
No, seriously. You need to watch some documentaries.
1,500 years.
No, you need to watch some documentaries.
Now we can't eat no gluten.
You need to watch some documentaries. They pump stuff into meat all the time. Like your chicken wings that you love so much, they are injecting those to make them bigger than what they actually
is not
are.
Facts, y'all. I can type
it's
something
not
on
Wikipedia.
the internet.
These are documentaries. All right, whatever. So I started that in hopes to change my body, allow my knees to feel better, and that actually helped my knees feel better. I didn't lose any weight. So I stopped. And that's when I went into fish.
Right.
I was like, all right, I'm going to do fish. I'm still not going to do dairy, though, because around that time, I realized that dairy was also messing my stomach up.
And fish makes you, which category does that put you in? Vegan or
no? That's why I said it. There was no name for it, because as a vegan, you can't eat fish, meat, or dairy. But pescatarians who eat fish, they can eat dairy. I was not eating dairy, so I said no labels. I don't want any more labels because of this man alone.
Y'all be doing too much with these labels. See, 2022, they got a label for everything. Vegetarian, vegan, pescatarian.
A lot more. Gluten-free. Like, there's a list of them, right? But the conversation is veganism versus vegetarian. Vegetarian is no meat, but you can have dairy, you can have gluten, you can have all those things. What lifestyle, if you had to choose between the two, would you pick?
I'm not choosing none of those lifestyles. I'd rather eat water than eating beans and no, y'all look. I'm 255 pounds, 6'3". Y'all probably can't tell, but I need meat, protein in this body to fuel me.
Yeah.
I can't get by with just the rice, the beans. I don't even know what y'all eat. What type of diet could somebody expect from a vegan, vegetarian, pescatarian?
Vegan, I did a lot of rice bowls, quinoa, stuffed peppers. You know, people have stuffed peppers that have meat in it. You just substitute it. Just like there are substitutions for beef, there are substitutions for chicken. I didn't like the chicken one, but there's substitution for everything. And it really is, if you get your mindset out of, I'm not eating chicken or I'm not eating beef or even cheese. People have a really hard time with non-dairy cheese. Just get it out your head. I'm not eating cheese.
Non-dairy.
I'm not eating cheese. This is not cheese, but it can taste like cheese.
Okay.
And seasoning is a big part of it. If you go vegan or even vegetarian, what you season your food with will really help with consuming it.
Substitute, she said. You heard substitute. That's what we do after the starters come out. So after the good food, you're tired of eating that. You put in some other stuff, but I don't know about every day.
Hey,
though.
it was a phase,
God
right?
bless y'all. Hey, Prince Fielder, I seen him. This is why I'll never be vegan. Prince Fielder, baseball player, love him. Man was 260. I think he gained weight when he turned vegan. I'm like, this doesn't work. That's when I lost faith in veganism, vegetarianism.
Because someone said that you're supposed to lose weight when you go vegan. Who said that? Was that Wikipedia?
You stop eating meat.
Was that Wikipedia? That's not the only reason why you stop eating meat. There's a lot of things in meat that you don't see, you don't know, that aren't on the labels. So that is why people would stop eating meat.
All right, I'm going to tell y'all, look, peace and love to you. Whatever you eat, whatever makes you feel good, mentally fit, you do what you do. But it
was a phase for me, right? It's very much a lifestyle for a lot of people.
Sure.
People, cook vegan during Thanksgiving. Shout out to my mom, though, because when I was vegan, she did a whole vegan Thanksgiving for me.
She did.
That was big. My brother didn't love it. My dad didn't.
Smelled funny.
But she did both. She did vegan mac and cheese and she did regular mac and cheese. And so, you got to shout out to the people who support the lifestyles that you create.
It smelled like a pantry in there. It was just, everything was off.
I cannot deal with you. You are doing too much.
My mental not right, but y'all, let's get into mental because what we do, we wear a lot of different hats: realtor, investor, athlete. We've been through a lot of different transitions: sportscaster, analyst, the mental.
Mm-hmm.
What do we do? What are some of the tactics that you still use to this day to focus? Because for me, focus is a big thing, and I think a lot of people have different opinions. I see people and I'm like, oh my goodness, if you would just lock in for a minute, you'd be nothing but successful.
Yeah.
What are some of the tools you use? Because I know I have a few. I'll let them know, but what are some of yours?
Well, one of them that you actually put me onto was putting it on paper. Because I'm very much like all up here type of person. My mind is always racing. But putting it down, whether that's on my phone or actually writing it down, like just creating a list.
Make it real.
Yes. My second thing is repetition.
Okay.
Just like in a game, just like when you were practicing, it's like, how often do you do something?
Practice?
We talk about practice.
Look, we grew up right across the street from Philly. Practice? I saw that. Sorry. Practice.
But repetition is real. It's real in your daily life. It's real in sports. How often you do something just becomes natural.
For sure.
And so way to kind of get a grips or a handle on things that might be out of control in your life, just do what you want to do every single day.
And fall in love with the process. I think that's one of my others is falling in love with the process. People want to get to the end. They want to get to the big show. For me, it's about the daily. I used to have to wake up and say, okay, boom, I got to enjoy practice today. There's 2 or 3 things I want to work on today in practice. And I'm going to be intentional about it to make sure that I get improved.
Yeah.
It's easy to say, I got a long, hot day out there in the sun. Or, if you're going off to work, I got to this and that. I got so many things to handle. You have to really step back and be grateful for the opportunity to improve.
Yeah.
Grateful for the day. All of these things refocus and then consistently do it. It's like training a child.
Yep.
You have to focus, then refocus. There's times, some days where I'm sitting at my desk and I'm like, my mind's all over the place. And I have to say, stop. You know what I'm saying? Like, chill.
Yeah.
Let's get back on track, and I'll have these notes so that whenever I do have to refocus, I can jump right back into my notes. I know it's tough for people, but
and prioritization. Like, you can't get everything done. I remember in college, I had this rule. If my homework is not done at 10 o'clock, it's not happening.
Yeah.
Because you know me, I love my sleep. I'm going to get my 8 hours now. Maybe 6, but...
Now, this girl sleep now, y'all. She grew up sleeping, napping till you was what? I think she took a nap yesterday.
I did take a nap. I definitely took a nap yesterday, but it's prioritizing because you have to be very realistic with yourself as well. In order to have great mental focus where you can zone into whatever it is that you need to get done, you need to know what's ahead. You need to know what's really important, what can be put off to the side, and move forward that way.
And it might not be popular. That's another thing, especially for the young kids. They have a goal and then they have friends and distractions. And you have to figure out for you, especially as a teenager, we got social media, all these different distractions, school, boys, girls, parents, figure out what's important to you, write these things down and prioritize. Put those things first. It's funny because it sounds a lot like the Mamba mentality, Kobe being Bryant.
Facts.
It's about prioritizing, putting that work in, sacrificing. Are you willing to wake up at 4 a.m.? Are you willing to set those alarms 5 a.m. before school, after school, putting in that work? You know, in high school, a lot of people used to make fun of me, and you were a little
That
bit
was
younger.
easy.
A lot of easy. I let sis get away with that. But they used to make fun of me because I would work out twice a day. They're like, yo, this boy Dez, boy, all he want to do is work out. Yeah, I'm trying to do something special.
Yeah. And even your Tulane experience, you coming in,
100%.
you had to sit out a whole year. Wasn't something that you really
18 months.
didn't really want to do that, right?
It was tough.
But it was the mental focus that you had, that you told me stories all the time when you're waking up, you're the first person on the field, can't play,
Last
can't play in
person
a game. And these old players, they're coming in like, this guy, he's been here all day.
Mose, what the hell you doing, man? Practice over. Oh no, I'm trying to get this work. I'm going to the league. I'm not willing to settle for just what coach needed us to do. Because selfishly now this is about me. But it just took a matter of focus, refocus, and then habits. You know, was I willing to do it day in and day out? There was days we didn't feel like it. You can't just work when you feel like it. We know that. You got to be willing to work on all of those days. And it takes focus. That's all it's about.
And I think it depends on what your goal is, right? Like if your goal is to be great, it takes a lot of what you just talked about. But if your goal is to make it to work on time, you know, pack a lunch, like literally daily things.
Yeah, my therapist told me about this. She said, stop trying to make everybody great. Everybody doesn't want to be Kobe. I'm like, nah, they got potential. But
that's so true. Some people don't have it in them. Even though you might see potential or I might see potential in them, they might not know what they have in them. And so you can't make someone do what they don't want to do, right? But even if that's taking a day off, like some people need a day to do absolutely nothing, think about absolutely nothing, for them to be mentally focused and ready to go about their week.
Yeah, everybody's different. You know, think about it. How do you focus? What tools, what things can you implement to be your best version? That's what we're trying to do. We out here spreading some love. It's Moses the Moses. We appreciate you guys tuning in. We'll check you out next week. It's your boy, Dezman Moses.
And I'm Lauren. La, 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 la.
Go, Ray.
We'll go to a place only lovers go.
I'm freestyling. Love. Love.